So Tuesday's close, in the end, nothing crazy has changed since Friday's close. So Friday was a horrendous day for the miners. Monday we had a small bounce. Today we reversed that bounce, so we're back down again, pretty much where we were on Friday's close. For some individual stocks, obviously it's different. I'm just giving you the overall picture for the miners. Now, for the DXY, it's a bit different. It had a big move up on that NFP. Up again, Monday, Tuesday. Now we've clearly closed above 105. Next stop, if it was to keep going up, would be 106.5. Tomorrow we have FOMC and inflation data. So, I mean, the technicals are almost irrelevant, but if it's a big update straight to 106.5, that should still be resistance. But yeah, it should pretty much go up there like a magnet. I don't know if we'll do it one day, but this week. Now, if it reverses and goes down, then I expect 104 to be support. And it takes us all the way back down to where we were pre-NFP. And if it keeps going low and close to below 104, we could actually end up going towards 102.5. So I think that'll be a bit of a decision. I mean, for the next week, even following, this FOMC and inflation data. Now let's look at yields. Yields are quite interesting because, I mean, they're quite similar, big, not big, but a move up. But drifting sideways at this point, middle of the range. And the 30, the 10, 5, same thing, even the 2, that found support on it. So horizontal line. Now the thing is, if we start to go up tomorrow, the 2-year starts to hit this scene. This is very important. Clear resistance. You've got this descending, you've got general horizontal, and it's a big round number. It's 5%, and it's the 2-year I'm talking about. That's the most important one the Fed typically has to follow. If you start to close above 5 and drift higher, that's big. Like, that's market shattering. So that should take down markets. I don't know, it should take down gold, maybe short term, but then gold ends up going up. I think it's a bit special when it comes to gold, but that's a big one. If we go lower, then markets won't feel the pressure, and gold should love that. But I think gold wins either way, at least medium to long term. So even for the miners, I don't think it matters too much. Maybe the miners go up, even if the markets go down. The thing that's special about yields, especially the 2-year, is, and I don't usually cover this, but look at this. Look at the small banking. I don't hear too many people talking about this, at least recently. This just hit support today. Yes, it's a bit of a reversal hammer, but you look at all the other markets. Look at the S&P, new all-time high close, right? Apple's doing great or whatever. Even the Dow Jones that was red, not exactly all the way to the bottom. The Russell, which is typically the weakest, middle of the range, only one level retracement. The small banks, if we have just one red day tomorrow, and imagine the yield goes up, the 2-year especially, I mean, this will start doing some red moves all the way down to here. This is ascending support, the last support, besides the horizontal, of the bear market. And that means small banks going down. And the last time we had a small banking crisis, gold just took off like a beast. So this is like something hidden under the surface, but in your face if you're looking at it. And I think it's something worth paying attention to. Maybe tomorrow start to get a bit more attention. So watch out for this. This is something we'll probably revisit. So higher yields, not good for the small banks especially. Okay, let's go straight to gold and silver. So we bounced, right? We had this big crazy day. We didn't exactly close at low of day, but still pretty low. Horrible Friday, right? We all know that. But we still held support, which is roughly 2,280. I mean, you could even say it's just below 2,270. Let's just say 2,280. And we bounced nicely on Monday. What was resistance? Well, it was prior support. That was kind of perfect. Almost like to the millimeter perfect. Today, bit of continuation. That's okay. So tomorrow, well, if it's a down day, we're going to be testing this 2280. No doubt about it. We could even flush it and then return and let's see where we close. It could be one of those hammers where you just hold the line. That would actually be an okay candle. Imagine, I'm not going to draw a hammer, I'll get it completely wrong, but imagine like a hammer, not a hammer, but let's just say you flush this and you reverse and you just kind of close here, 2280, or even below 2280, but you have a bit of a tail, a bit of a wick here. The next, I'll try, horrible day, whatever, something like that, it wouldn't be the worst. Then the next stop is testing this high again, breaking out, and then you hit this, and you know, I'm just saying it's about the close. And remember, when this data comes out, FOMC, forget the whipsaw move, which will happen inevitably. You know, the data comes out, it's just up, down, and then it's about where it closes. So even if it ends up red, just check the type of candle. It could end up being quite constructive and something to come out from, you know, dig a hole and climb out, and then it ends up being quite constructive. And you know, people who are short there are trapped, end up short covering up here. It could be okay. Now, if it's good straight away, then you know, resistance will pretty much be this this zone here. I'd say 2360. I think that's about right, 2360-ish. I mean, there's resistance here-ish, and then also the descending. So I don't think we'll get all the way to 2376. That's a bit too much in one go. But you know, pretty much reversing, yeah, maybe even higher. I don't know, kind of this range, if I'm allowed to say it. Reversing the damage of the NFP. Now, if we just have a really bad day and we close below and it's not a hammer, then we have to zoom out and think about next support, which is 2200. I just have the feeling we'll find support before then, but 2200. I don't know. That's kind of what I'm thinking at the moment. I just think gold is going to be a serious dip buying candidate. Silver, though, that's quite weak, isn't it? Definitely quite weak compared to what gold did. I mean, yeah. The thing is, I don't care how weak it was. That suggests it wants to go lower. Support is still going to be ascending. And even if it's a bad day, I have the feeling silver will outperform. I'm not sure. Silver will outperform gold tomorrow, even though silver's come down a bit more. Still, this is support. This is support for me. And if we do flush it, I still see a bit of support just below. You could end up having support there, you know, just from this sort of, actually, that's a big round number too, $28. And then that creates a wick, and then you could have that sort of hammer candle. And see, I really want that hammer candle no matter what happens if it goes down. So even if it goes down here, you could have some buying, and then it's a hammer. And then, you know, let's work our way up, and then this will be your resistance, you know, and it could end up still surviving within the ascending if you have that hammer here. It's all about the daily close. These are daily candles. So you could be intraday even below 28, like 27.89, and then bam, you close above 28.50. Let's see. Otherwise, if it's a good day, then I mean, this time I really reckon silver will close above 30. Need that close above 30. After basically the resistance being 30 the last 2 days, Monday and Tuesday, this bounce from this horrific big red candle, and you can tell, hey, look at that close above day. So silver not looking as good as gold, but there's still hope for a nice bounce, even if it ends up being another red day. I think that's the point. So I'm looking at the support, even if it's a red day. If it's green, then above 30, and then you know, we've got to start challenging the green NFP highs, and then we'll have all the resistance. We'll take it from there. Miners, real quick, they're looking quite good. I know it was a red day, but I like these candles. Support is here, you can tell now. You know, 42 on GDXJ. I like it when it's just below the closing, just above. It just looks like perfect reversal. Unfortunately, we have big news tomorrow. So if it goes down, keep it simple. You know, here, how much of a drop is that from where we are now? 4%. That's realistic, right? A horrible day, another horrible day, 4%. If it's a good day, probably another 4%. You could end up closing at or above the NFP drop. So, I mean, no, the thing is, we did actually close here pre-NFP, but, you know, at least clawing back to the open of the NFP, so kind of here-ish, you could go there, but that's your real target the rest of the week if we can keep going. I think that's a bit too much in one day. But yeah, you know, this is great. Sort of the curl, like just forming the base, and then you want to pop out from there. Still day, same thing. You know, I like these candles. I like it's just a shame you got this news, because if there was no news, this wants to go up. GDX probably going to be exactly the same. I like that closing a higher day. Just really nice, 33.5-ish. Again, you know, if you have a bad day, 4%, yeah, 4% takes us. I mean, the support is very obvious, right? Very obvious. I think a lot of people can see that. Even people who don't care about charts will see that one. Down here, if we go up, I think it's too much to ask for to go up there. That's resistance. You can see from the other days, but let alone the big day, the pre-NFP day, which was so good. And that's quite far away, isn't it, from where we are? Yes, 6% is a bit too much, but otherwise, the open of the NFP day, 3%, middle of the range, you can see that's a bit of a level here, you know? Look at that open, look at that resistance, look at that resistance, look at this open. And it's big round, not big, but 35, also supported here. So I think you've got that on the other ones too, middle of the range. And that would be okay, because imagine you close there after that news. Next day, you're going to be aiming for this, and everyone's going to have a chance to be back up by Thursday to the amazing close we had pre-NFP. So, you know, this could go very well. And if it goes bad, I think we do have a clear level of support. And remember, we are in a bull market. I don't care about this FOMC decision. Ultimately, it doesn't matter what they say. They are trapped, and gold wins no matter what. This inflation data is going to be totally fraudulent anyway. We don't care. But we have a chance to buy things lower, or we have a chance to see our money get bigger. So, all right, let's look at the actual miners. Newmont, beautiful, incredibly clear support. Big round number 40. This is, you know, after their great earnings. This is clear buy for me. I nibbled today, by the way, small nibbles in case tomorrow is just big flush gap fill, very obvious, you know. But I just, oh, by the way, I didn't mention, I wanted to have some numbers. So I have 65% invested, 50% in miners. Now I thought it was more, but I forgot I have quite a bit of actual physical gold now. I bring that up because this is my contingency plan. So I'm reading it now, 15% cash, which doesn't sound like much, but it's that's because I took into account this physical gold that I have, which I'm willing to liquidate and throw into miners. That's like a hedge. So if it goes lower, because I'm pretty heavy and I'm pretty heavy in the miner, you know, the chart is up. I usually like buying stuff when it's absolutely low, but I think things have changed and it's time to change psychology and buy dips, you know, and buy as the chart is making higher lows, not necessarily lower lows, which we are not used to, but we're in a new bull market, in my opinion. So 15% cash, 20% gold, 50% in miners. The rest, the other 15%, let's say, is invested in other stuff. So if it keeps going lower, what I'm doing at the moment is just nibbling small amounts, 1%, 1%, just small stuff, you know, hoping it actually goes lower. Now, if there's a big drop tomorrow, I'll probably do like 3, 4, 5%. I don't know, something crazy. If I use up all my cash, which I've never done, but I'm up for it. You know, I think this really is a big event, big moment, and the opportunity to make a lot of money. I'm willing to sell my physical gold and take the proceeds and throw it into miners, and that would last me. That would take me, you know, let's look at GDXJ, for example. Yeah, let's be realistic. This could be a good. So let's just say we go down here. All right, 5% in cash, maybe even 10%, like almost all my cash in. Let's just say, and then there's another drop, all in cash. There's another drop. This is just never going to happen. But let's just say, okay, I'm starting to liquidate my gold, which takes time. That's the good thing about having physical gold. It takes time. Let's set up the bank. It takes time. By then, it's probably a reversal, and you know, my last buy is now starting to make money or whatever. But should it keep going down or stay here? Okay, a third of all my gold in. That's a big amount. Lower again. Okay, all in. Let's just say all in. I probably wouldn't do that. That means I still have cash. And by the way, you know, what about some salary I make? I'm okay. I'm in no options, no margin, no ETF that has erosion, nothing, just old school. You know, I'm not short anything that can go against me and I lose money. Just hold. And by the way, that's making dividends. So I'm okay. You know, this isn't just some random bet with money I can't lose. Okay, don't know why I decided to mention that, but you know, think about that risk management aspect. So if it comes all the way down here, I'm not exactly going to be crying. There is a plan. So let's look at Newmont again. Yeah, Newmont looks good. I said, you know, if there's a worst case scenario, it comes down, gap fill. I don't see us going lower. I'm just looking at the gap fill. Newmont is fantastically strong. Biggest company, should be all the way up here, and it's not. So I don't really worry about it going further lower. And plus, I just told you my plan just in case. If we go up, yeah, if you have a good day, honestly, straight back up to 42 or even higher. I don't think that's unrealistic. 4% new one, at least 42, 3.5%. You could do that. You could do that on a no news day. So Newmont could end up being, challenging 44 the same week or next week if it's a good close. So Newmont looks very good on the way down and on the way up. Barrick Gold nibbled this one. I just think it's so underpriced. I think it wasn't the best out of all the miners. It did come down a bit more than the others, but just overall, what is it doing? Dipping its toes in the 15s pretty much today. Just held 16. I bought it pretty much. I didn't care where. I think I bought it where it is now. Nothing special. Didn't time it. It's like towards the close. I just thought I'd nibble. If this goes up, resistance is going to be, this zone, the descending. It won't get there in one go tomorrow, but if it comes down, I see mid 15s, 15.5 is. I don't think we're going to get to the low 15s. I think the middle is pretty much the low. It's just come down so much, and it's just, it's so close to where we were in the February rise era that I think it's just such a good buy. Agnico Eagle, this one's gone up a lot more than its other senior peers, but it's always such a strong candidate for the move up. Didn't buy it. I've got enough in it. They're all worth like 6K pretty much. Gold, Barrick Gold wasn't, now it is. But look at that. That's a beautiful close. So I think this one is another one that can rise to the top quite quickly. 100% that 6%. I could probably challenge 67. I'm not sure where resistance is. A little mini resistance of 66. Maybe this area. But yeah, 69 is going to be resistance. That's very, very clear. I don't think we do that tomorrow, even if it's all good. A drop to 60. It's not going to happen tomorrow. I don't care how bad the news is, but what amazing support that's going to be. It's not going to get there. It'll be bought up at 61 probably. Pan America. This is doing well on this support. Look at that. Look at that 1950 resistance there. Beautiful. Kissed it today. Very nice day. Actually, one of the strongest miners, unchanged. It's actually up and after hours, so technically had a green day. That's really strong. That's due for a move up. If any silver move up, this will run. This could do a 7% in one day and basically end up being at pre-NFP close in one day. If silver has a big day tomorrow, Pan American silver will be at 21.5, which is resistance. Will be that their area up there. If we have a drop, honestly, I think even though this is support, this 19.5 will probably flush it intraday, and I just think ascending will be, and 19 will be support, and it'll probably end up bouncing and then closing back above 19.5. So I just think this whole area here is strong, and it should be. If we flush it more, then it's going to be this area, because of what happened. SSRM, it's a weird one. It's just, it's doing okay the last 2 days. I mean, Monday was pretty good. It was almost at pre-NFP highs. I mean, and then today just down 3%. It's a weird one. I've been saying it a long time. This doesn't follow the usual GDXJ. It does a bit, but it's doing its own thing because it's just had demolishment because of its own Turkish landslide. So it's in its own world, but it also follows a little bit the miners. I don't even want to comment on it. Support will be here. I do see 19.5 as support. So this entire area here should be support if we have a flush. I don't expect it closing below 4.5. If it moves up, then I guess this will have to be resistance. I have to clear this. Right, Wheaton. It's doing okay, which is what you expect from Wheaton. Nice royalty. Basically, no matter what happens, this will probably end up making new highs. That's what the royalty is different. That's what the royal streamers do, the big ones like Wheaton. So it's a good day today. Yesterday was also a very good bounce day. It didn't really get obliterated like the others. I mean, it did a bit, but if it's a good day tomorrow, you could pretty much go back up to the pre-NFP highs. If it's a bad day, yeah, 51 could be support. I don't even think it'll get there. That's a big, 4%. It could. It's a horrific day. It could get there, but they'll probably just work its way back up. Probably bounce and come back. It just has a way of just constantly going up. Next one is Franco-Nevada. It's the first time I see it actually since the Friday demolishment. That's okay. It's okay. I mean, yeah, average, finding some stability here sideways. And if we go back up, where is your resistance? Well, this area here, definitely. This is really resistance. I'll do an average here as the NFP day, but yeah, 125-ish. And then support will be here, and I think I'll leave it there. I mean, Franklin Nevada should be way high. That should be catching up with Newton and others. On the way down, I think we'll just say here. First of all, support from the last couple of days, but then here also. Right, Tala. This one, closed unchanged, quite good compared to the others. This should be all the way up here. I mean, this wants to go there. It's just having to follow the sector sentiment. Support is here. It's also at 3. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think you just got to give it some time. It'll end up going up 8%. Geez, that's quite. You know what? This could do 8% one day. If we have a good day tomorrow, I actually feel like it could challenge this in one go, which is middle of the range, actually. Middle of where it ultimately needs to get to, which is 350. It could, if you have a good day, it goes all the way up here. The next day, it's, or rest of the week, it's challenging 350. Next week, it's challenging 350. If you have a bad day, it flushes down to the 280s, maybe even low 280s, and then probably reverses and close like around 290. That's my guess. First Majestic, I added to this one today. I just felt like that's why that's there. I feel like it's underperformed. It's the peers, like for me, it's Heckler, EXK, Fortuna, Calvin. It's flushed, it's ascending, so it's had extra weak charts, and it's hit what I think is support, which is around hit 615-ish. So I was buying or 620 something. I wasn't really trying to get the low, I was just trying to get the general area. And it's nibbles. When it's nibbles, it doesn't matter if it's the absolute low or not. If I was buying heavy, I would try and time it perfectly. But I just feel like a pop is due. If silver has a good day, this will have a good day. Like touch $7 kind of good day. It's due for a big pop. I don't think it will go just to this resistance, 660-ish, which looks like a bit of resistance. I think it could do more than that. It's got a long way to go. So for me, $7 is resistance, psychologically and technically. And even there, it's still got some work to do to get back with the others. So I think that's definitely feasible. If we have a bad day, oof, I never thought we'd get there, but I think 580, right? Higher resistance there. We popped and we kept on going, but we never really 580. Who knows? It could have a really strong move and then close above 6, and maybe 6 becomes support. I don't see it, but I can see why it might do that. I don't think we go below that to the next level, which is 520. Right. After this, what should we check? In no particular order, Fortuna. That's a clear support, but it's coming from bad news, so I didn't buy this. Plus, I have quite a lot in this. I was nibbling on the way out, but not enough. That caught me by surprise, that bad news. You can see it basing, curling, but look at that close, not a good close. Look at the others. They closed at high of day. This one closed at low of day. So although we're at support, I don't like that candle. If it's a bad day tomorrow, this thing will go lower. It'll go to like, I don't know, 450 or something, I mean, yes, support is here. It's probably higher. It's probably something like here. Realistically, 440, 460, the middle of this choppy zone, I can see a big flush, and then we'll see what happens. That's worth buying. That dip would be worth buying, though. There I would buy. I'll probably get a bit emotional and buy some Fortuna there. If we have a big move up, I still feel like there'll be quite a bit of resistance. This area here, this 540, that's the NFP high. Is that NFP high? It should be. Yeah, pre-NFP, so on Thursday. So 540 will be resistance. And then after that, it's the gap fill. To clear my lines. But I can get rid of all of them because what's happened to me, the rest obsolete. There you go. There's that pre-NFP gaps to consider to trade. Something like that, right? That's Fortuna. My absolute favorite. Still here, look at that. Still holding the ascending. Normally, I would expect this to feel flushed already because It outperforms on the way up and on the way down. This is still holding. Honestly, a good day tomorrow. It could just test the all-time high, you know, the $6. Bam. And before you know it, by Friday or even next week, you're printing $6 something, and Calvert-Lewin wins again. My absolute favorite. I thought it was. I mean, I always say it's Calvert-Lewin, and Fortuna outperformed the EXK outperformed it, but actually right now Calvert-Lewin is winning, still holding ascending. Amazing. Now, if we have bad news, I think it will finally have to give way and then flush its ascending, but then it's just going down here. There's a floor here, $5 psychological, bit of technical, and it's still doing quite well. It's just like a little pit stop down, and then who knows, we'll probably recover and go back up. I love it. My bias is always to further breakout because medium and long term, that's where I think we're going. Go on, let's do Heckler. Heckler, I was looking at this one. This, if we have a good day tomorrow, Heckler is just, it's going to be a bit like Kirk. The ascending, I'm going to say it's still within the ascending, right? If I was to redraw my lines, I could probably manipulate it so it's still in there. Maybe not here, but either way, it's held the horizontal, which I guessed, and to be honest, it's working still because it's resistance here. That little support there, that kind of counts these guys. I'm clutching for straws here, but it's just, I don't know, I drew this before, right? And it's holding. And if we go back up, then bam, you're back into this ascending. Now, how much of a move up to get back to this pre 10%? That's 11%. That's a big one. But Heckler is capable of it, not in one day, but in two. It could do it. But like if there's a flush, this is a long way down. Probably won't get there. There'll be some vicious dip buying, maybe $5 actually. Some gap fill here. Lots of little wicks touching the psychological number, and plus there's probably some GDXJ or silver support, which is nearby, right? Silver, for example. So maybe we just go here-ish, but still haven't bought it. That's still my, it's just not my destiny. EXK, total gap fill, kiss the gap, close pretty much back at support, right? 360-ish. So that's actually quite constructive. If you have a good day tomorrow, honestly, if you do a 10% day, make up everything, you could probably do almost 10%. I don't see much distance to go. I don't care why it's there. Yeah, $4. That free NFP, Thursday high, psychological. There you go. If you flush, yeah, so that's what I'll say, resistance up there. If you flush, then it's going to be something like this. I can see it getting there, but that's such a big move. Again, silver has support. Some of the mines have support 10%. There's a few of these where the next clear support is 10% below, but they'll probably find support before then. It's good though. It's a nice strong one. A bit like Heckler, a bit like Calvert-Lewin. Mag silver. Yeah, I guess that one. High support. Quite bad. Probably be irrelevant by tomorrow. Big move. So if you have a nice up day, you send them score, I can get rid of that. If you have an up day, yes, this 1320-ish, bit of resistance, bit of resistance. It's the high of that day. This is mini resistance mainly. Obviously, it's all about, they all have this free NFP now, I think it's resistance. Let me get rid of this actually. Keep it simple. That's a big move. How much from here to there? Again, 9% too much. Maybe that's doable. A flush takes us down 3%. I wonder if there'll be you could have a down day, but it's not that much of a flush. It's a bit like that gold flushing and then coming back up with that hammer. You could end up having a lot of these just go down a little bit. So if it's a bad day, it's only down 2 or 3%. That could be possible. I haven't considered that. Where it's a down day, but by the close, it's not that down, and then some of them just go down a little bit. Then they all have their immediate support still holding the support rather than doing all 10% move down, which is the next level. I don't know, we'll see, but this one's acting quite well compared to what it used to be like, lower lows, lower highs constantly. I am gold. This one reminds me a bit of Fortuna recently, had bad news, and you can see the candle was closing a low day. It's just weak compared to the others. This is a good level of support. It should be. 350. It's a shame I was buying at 295, 305, all the way up here. And then bad news just ruined the chart, ruined the strength. It was really one of the strongest ones. Anyway, I mean, definitely will go down to below 350 if there's red news. Red news. And if it goes lower, gap fill. There's too many lines here. Too many lines. See why I've got it. I don't know here. I just let it settle. I'm in no hurry to buy this one because I'm in the money and it's still weak relative to others. Others are better buys. This one could do, yeah, definitely go hit 350, probably go lower. Now, if you start going to low threes, like 320, I'm sorry, but it's time to buy that. I'll probably have to nibble it there. If we have a good day, I don't see it going up too much, and I still see this as resistance, maybe 385-ish. Green NFP, $4. I don't want to add further lines, but that would probably also be resistance. Lots of little mini resistances on the way up. B2 gold. I feel like I'm missing one. Yes, I am. ARMN. Finally showing some signs of weakness closing the low day. This one's had bad news, but actually made new highs, so it's a bit unique in that respect as having bad news, but actually keeping some strength. Support 390. 390 on the way down. If it keeps going lower, why have I got this? Oh yeah, this 370. Yeah, it makes sense. I don't see it going lower than that. Probably bounced quite a lot actually, this one. Bad news is behind it and it made new highs since then. If you have a good day, I will probably get around here, 430. And next day, next week, we're testing the highs again. So I don't mind this one. Showed some good resilience since the bad news. B2 gold. This one, I didn't buy this drop. I watched it and didn't do anything, but I bought today. I bought B2 gold, Barrick gold, First Majestic, and I think that's it. Or is there one more? One more. I think that's it. So this one had a, that big red day. And then yesterday, I mean, when it's a low day and you're seeing it down here, low 250 is not the best look. But I didn't see it then. I was preoccupied, and by the time I see it, it was already creating a hammer. Look at this amazing candle, kissing this ascending, by the way, perfectly. I thought that was spectacular. That's why today when it was down, I thought, you know what? That candle is so good that this one is strong just by association with this one. So I nibble. I just feel like that's strong. 6% dividend long term. I think the worst case scenario is priced in and still overly priced in Mali. So I just bought this. I added to just a little nibble. Let's call it a nibble. I'm not going to come up with a number because it's meaningless. So if it's a good day, up we go. Not sure where to. Say 280-ish. Sure. Depends on, yeah, 280. I think that's okay. This is capable of doing 6% on a good day. If we have a flush, I think 250 will hold. I really do. I think you can go to 250. Because think about it, the next level below that is the bear market lows, and B2 gold doesn't deserve to be there, not right now anyway. Equinox. Now this one that's been quite strong. I was quite surprised that it was quite weak. But I don't mind. I still think this is a fantastic one. And if it flushes, this is the one I'll be watching. This is probably the number one flush buy. First of all, $5 psychological, 3% drop from where we closed. That's a level, obviously, $5. If we flush that, I feel like we will bounce back up and create a nice hammer. Right? We've seen the potential for that in the miners and in silver and in gold. If we really have worst case drop and 10%, not in one day, but everything just flushes, I will be buying it. Trust me, I can tell you right now, probably 471 or something before we get to this level. I don't see it happening, but this is one that I would buy. I think a lot of stocks will be bought if we have a real flush, but that's the level I'll be watching. So let me bring that up because we will not be going that. If we have a good day, normally I would be looking at big moves up like 560, looks like resistance. Again, pre-NFP moves. But that weakness, that low of day close is not too encouraging, but I still think it just needs an extra day, maybe, to get to where it will, and eventually I'll get to 590 and go high. Equinox, great stuff. SBSW is curling here at 450. It did the usual thing, close at low of day, below support, and then just not flush. It did that here, I remember. Look at that massive move up after that. I'm not entering here or anything. I'm just watching. I've already set this entire zone. I have bought enough to cover all of this. I want to see it go here now or lower, which it won't do. Right, I don't think I missed any buying stocks. I hope that wasn't too long. And it's probably all irrelevant by tomorrow, right? Once the new candles have been superimposed on the charts following the news. So good luck to all of us. I have a plan for no matter what happens. See what happens. Good luck.